Hey there, I want to give you a quick little tour of these super small Toro Powerlite snowblowers. And these things are really kind of neat. I first stumbled across one, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. My dad drug one home he found on the side of the road and asked me to get it running. I didn't think much of them at the time because they're so small. I thought, what use are these going to be? Any snowstorm that this would handle, I could probably just shovel by hand. And after working on a couple of them, I kind of fell in love with these things. I've had probably, 10 of them. And every time I get rid of them, I always kick myself because I wish I would have kept one for snows like this. I think we probably got, 4 inches of snow last night. Normally I would just shovel this, but as I get older, I find the value in taking the easy route on some things. Plus, I usually clear my neighbor's driveway, and by the time I get done with mine and theirs, I think, hey, a small snowblower would be handy to have. And I'll tell you a couple things I like about it. After years of working on those old Toro S200s and S620s that were really popular in the 1980s and were darn near a bulletproof engine, those little Tecumsehs, pulling off those plastic covers to get to the carburetors was nearly impossible because these plastic covers would always get wrapped up around the muffler and they were difficult to deal with. Whereas these, it's a couple of screws there and a screw there, same thing on the other side. And then this whole cover just slips out and the carburetor is very easily accessible right there. In fact, there's been times where I found them where you can just drop that float bowl, pull the jet and the emulsion tube out, clean it out with a little copper wire, squirt some carb cleaner in there. And if you don't do a very good job draining the fuel or stabilizing the fuel, the following year you can get it running pretty easily. And they're an easy carb to clean. They're a lot like those old Briggs & Stratton Quantum lawnmower engine carburetors. So I have yet to find one of these that I couldn't get running just by cleaning the carburetor with an ultrasonic cleaner and some dish soap. And here in Kansas, it's not uncommon that, we go a year or two without a heavy snow, and you'll find these things that have been sitting in the shed or somebody's garage for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Never been started, not properly stored, and the carburetors look like they were, underwater for about 15 years, and they always seem to come back to life. And so those are some of the things I like about them. The carburetors are very easily to access if you need to clean the carburetor. It's an easy carburetor to clean, and there's a couple of different varieties of these Powerlites. I don't know how long they made them, but they all seem to be a 16-inch. Some of them have the 3 1/4 horsepower motor. Some of them have the 3 horsepower motor. Some of them have electric start. Some of them don't. They're just that plug an extension cord in. So you're using power off the house, hit the start button, just like any snowblower. Some of them don't have electric start. I have found that they normally start so easy that electric start's really kind of a joke. And they just take regular 50-to-1 mixed gas. There's no way to control the auger. So once this thing's running, the auger's spinning. But I always just kind of thought, how much good can one of these little rubber paddle 16-inch augers do in snow? And last year, I actually had this snowblower. Like I said, normally I get these things, I fix them up and get rid of them, and always kick myself in the rear because they are really lightweight. They're easy to store. That's my issue. We don't get a lot of snow here in Kansas, and so to keep a big snowblower in the shed takes up valuable space in the shed. Well, this, I just fold down the handle. It actually sits on a shelf in the shed, and it's so light you can pick it up with one hand. So if you need to bring it over to the neighbor's house or a friend's house that doesn't have a snowblower, you're not throwing out your back loading the snowblower into the back of the vehicle. So they're convenient. They store easily up on a shelf, They're easy to transport. They're easy to work on. They start easy, and they actually throw snow pretty well. So hopefully it starts up first try. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a fool. But just turn the key on, give her a couple of primes, make sure it's on choke, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, they'll rip through. I mean, that's probably 4 to 6 inches of snow. And like I said, last winter we got dumped on. I've been in Kansas City for about 3 decades, and we actually got 11 or 12 inches of snow last year, which is about the most I can recall in one snowstorm here in Kansas. And my bigger snow blower, I broke a belt on it, and so it was out of commission. And it was enough snow where I wasn't going to shovel it by hand. So I ripped this thing out, and oh, I forgot to screw the nut down for the chute there. That's the other thing I do when it's in the shed. I fold that down, and then that sits on the shelf. This thing ripped through that 11 inches of snow really well, and it was actually pretty wet. So kind of interesting. So if you get a chance to pick one of these up, grab it. Normally they go for about $100. If you can find one for 50 or 75 or even $100, they're a great value. I highly recommend them.